Jason Chaffetz voted against a resolution in Congress in support of Financial Literacy Month. Why, you ask? He put it bluntly, because Congress needs to study up first. Now that is an excellent point and a symbolic vote that I can get behind. This was a non-binding resolution anyway. Deficit spending has been the bane of this government for the better part of a decade. Being a freshman in Congress, Chaffetz isn't tainted by Congress's spending over the last 8 years, which puts him in an ideal position to make such a stand. Then he just had to go and keep talking.
It's an oxymoron for the democratically controlled Congress to think they should push forward financial literacy and competency. This body, more than anybody else, represents financial illiteracy at the highest levels.
I find it interesting that he should make such a strong point about Congress being controlled by the Democrats. Mr. Chaffetz seems to be forgetting that it was a Republican-controlled Congress that started with a federal budget surplus in 2001. They approved 2 wars, a major restructuring and expansion of government with the creation of the Department of Homeland Security, and Medicare Part D, all while allowing the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, aka Pay-As-You-Go, to lapse. Effectively meaning that President Bush and the Republican-controlled Congress were accountable to no one as they marched to war without raising taxes, something that has never been done before. And they embraced deficit spending in the name of security, almost doubling the national debt in only 7 years. Then they left office, without leaving so much as a memo suggesting some way of getting out of this mess. All of which begs the question, Jason, even though you weren't in Congress during that period, were you as critical of their out-of-control spending? Or are you playing the same game as those hypocrites, John Boehner and Mike Pence, and pretending that all these problems started with President Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and Harry Reid? While you may not be personally tainted by their actions over the last 8 years, your party certainly is. So I'd think twice before you start waving that flag around yourself, and oh wait, you already have been. Chaffetz went on to say that Congress should lead by example, and that the audacity of this federal government putting forth this resolution is idiotic when it's seeking to pass a record-breaking deficit budget. I'd like to say something about this record-breaking budget. Jason, you might want to step a little bit closer for this one. Since 1966, longer than my lifetime, every single federal budget, with or without deficits, has broken the record for the biggest federal budget. And out of those 43 years, 28 were presided over by Republican presidents. Of the 15 remaining years under Democratic presidents, 4 of them not only enjoyed a budget surplus that actually paid for all the government's expenditures, we had even started to shrink the national debt. Jason, you seriously need to rethink the angle you're taking when justifying your ideology. People are no longer buying this us versus them approach to governance that the GOP has been embracing since 9/11. Just look where it got them in the last election.